I tried to prepare something for days, and it's, in my own words, I tried to say something about Norman, but I guess I didn't learn. But as Sam so eloquently spoke before, and Captain Machete spoke, Lieutenant Commander Baker, they pretty much said it all about Norman's faith, about his family, his beliefs, his passion for the winter flounder program, probably. So I'm sitting there saying these gentlemen have spoken about everything that I tried to prepare myself for 4 days for. So this made it awful easy. I don't have to say anything, it's already been said. But then I said to myself, wait a minute now. Norman was born September 7th, 1946, 2 months after I was. We shared everything together as Harry and his brother did, and they were up there speaking. It brought me back to, I said, perhaps I can touch on that, because that was Norman and I. And Sam so eloquently said everything. The only little thing I have to challenge a little bit was Norman wasn't in middle school when he decided to become a fisherman. He was about this big. Isn't that right, Aunt Elsa? So, I'm not going to touch on the things the gentleman so eloquently said. I'm just going to touch on the little things, the kids and friends, not relatives. We were relatives, but we were friends. Norman and I rode bikes together when we were that big. We did everything together. First phone call in the morning, last thing at night. Jackie, our other cousin, was the three of us were like the 3 musketeers. We lived a fabulous childhood. Great parents, great grandparents. Captain Sam, as everybody refers to, was everything that they've said and more. And again, an unlimited pilot's license, you can pilot anything and sail the water. How fitting for an Edwards, you know, and you gentlemen followed in the footsteps. Your dad would be extremely proud of. Norman, I saw Norman when he was, we used to, let me start this off. I want to do this. I mean, we played football in my grandfather's yard. We did everything together. Boy Scouts. I think of the slogan, be prepared. That was Norman. His whole life, he was prepared. But whatever he did, the other thing I thought about was the little slogans from 1960, I guess, when President Kennedy was inaugurated. I think he said, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. That was Norman. As he did for 30 years in the Coast Guard. And he was so humbled by it. And Norman and I were very close in a way, and distant in another, because Norman would never speak about his achievements. He was amazing. I mean, in the years that I knew him, I mean, from 12 years old, he'd take the helmet of Magdalene out of the ocean. We were out there swordfishing with our grandfather. 12 years of age. So it was about that middle school era. But he was behind the helmet. And we'd be out there dragon fishing and things like that. We'd be shooting crude off of the shoals with Uncle Dave, Dr. Edwards, off of Barnes Landing. We did once in a while, went down to Ditch Plains. It was just memories that of the heritage. And I think that that was what was instilled in Norman when he, from Joshua, catching the last whale off the beach down here. That's Norman. It was, I don't know what more to say about the man, except that every step of my life, Norman was there. You know, we were Edwards. And going back to 1650, I guess, that's a ways. But I think that with the 30 years he did, and I saw him when he was in the Coast Guard. I was in the Navy at the time. I was doing pre-com for USS Coronado in San Diego, California. We were going up to Bremerton. Prior to that, Norman called me, and he says, or I got a hold of Norman. He was a commanding officer at Point Chico at the time, I believe. Point Chico. I had the fortune of going up and seeing him. He was Lieutenant JT. I said to myself, when I saw him commanding that ship, I said, this guy someday could be very easily be an admiral. He had that leadership quality. He had that sense of leadership. It just was a natural thing that Norman had. And it was just trait that he followed all his life. I being a Navy man was kind of prejudiced, I thought. All you Coast Guard guys got a lot to be proud of. And then Norman went, we went our separate ways with his career, my career. And then Norman came home. He said to me, he said, it was either Alaska or Amagansett. Because he loved Alaska. And he loved his family, and he loved his church. And he knew his priorities in life. I took Norman out fishing, and I think it was Captain O'Shea so rightfully said, he never spoke. He was so humble of a man. You had to try to extract everything out of him. Now here, he and I, for 64 years, were like this. He wouldn't talk to me. He wouldn't talk about the things, his accomplishments, because he was so, you know why? Because it was expected of him. He was just doing his job. And there was no reason to boast about it. And he came back here to try to instill, to preserve it for his children, his grandchildren, and the generations after. What heritage we have left. From fishing off the beach, from driving down the beach as kids, and doing all the things that are near and dear to our hearts. That man had so much to give to the town of East Hampton, and it's a shame he was taken away. So young. But, just this summer I took him out on a boat a couple times, and he went up on the bridge. I don't know if he was supposed to or not, but he did. But he did have his life jacket on yet. And he said to me one time, I think his children were coming, or his grandchildren. He said, Harold, I'd like to take the boys fishing. For some unknown reason, I always tried to make time for Norman. For some ungodly reason, I couldn't go that day. So I said, Norman, I got a little Caroline skiff out in front of the house. You're more than welcome. You think you can handle it? And he took his children, and he went out there and had a fabulous day. Didn't catch any fish, but a day on the water was a day that all he'd care. I can go on and on. There were certain things. I said to him in 2008, this is before he got sick, I said, Norm, I said, of all things, I said, wounded warriors are coming to town. And we're very strong, patriotic. And I says, I'd like to take a couple of them out on the boat fishing off Montauk. Would you like to go? He said he'd love to. Who better to command your vessel than Captain Edwards? So, as it turns out, the American boys had to go back to Walter Reed, I guess it was. It was a day other than Sunday. And fortunately, we took three Israeli soldiers, wounded soldiers out. And Norman enjoyed every minute of it, and he was in command of the ship, the boat. And we caught a lot of fish for the guys, and I'm sure they remember it. And I said to him, one time after that, we were out there on the boat, speaking to the Coast Guard real quick. I said, no, just tell me something you did. He said, well, he says, I'll give you a book to read, Harold, might be of interest to you. It was about all the rescues up in Alaska. And one of them was where I think they had either 5 or 7 guys in the water. They rescued, I think, 3 out of 5 or 5 out of 7. And a full captain was, and they tried to 3 attempts on one occasion where they had 100-foot seas, and the helicopter started to trough the waves. And Norman didn't tell me this. I had to read it to find this out. I asked Norman, did he know these gentlemen? He said, yeah. As it was, Norman was in command of them. I think that speaks volumes for Norman. Just the quality of the individual he was. So last year I asked him, I said, Norman, wounded warriors are coming again. Would you like to take them? And it was, the 1-9 was coming, which was the 1st Battalion 9th Marines. And that's Jordan Herter was out there. Boy from Sag Harbor was awarded the Navy Cross for heroism in Iraq. And he said, I'd love to go. And I said, okay, we're gonna take, we did. We took four Marines. And I said, Norm, I says, it's going to be Sunday. He says, Harold, he says, I'm sorry. He says, I have other commitments to my family and my church. So that speaks to another chapter of the volumes of Norman's history, his prioritizing. How he prioritized his family, how he prioritized his church. What a pleasure he was, because every time he was on that boat, it was just like having, you didn't have a life jacket on, but you had a life jacket on. Because you were so secure with him in your presence. And the only time he ever boasted to me was finally I tried to extract out of him, Norman, tell me something you did. 30 years you haven't done something. The government didn't just pay you. Can you tell me? Well, let's not go there. So he said, well, I'll tell you one thing I did. He says, and maybe I don't know if it was when they were chasing down the Chinese or whatever they were doing. He said he had, the fog was so thick you couldn't see the end for any face. They were out in the middle of the Pacific somewhere, and they were in pursuit of this boat. It may have been the same one. And he said he told the coxswain, I guess it was, you just do as I tell you to do. We'll be okay. I went over how they facing that radar. Norman said, I took that Coast Guard emblem, that vessel, and put it right alongside that ship. I guess they thought they were going to get away. They didn't know Norman was on the Coast Guard. And I just want to say thanks, Norman. Thanks, you. God bless you. Thank you.